Beyond the Buckles. Real rodeo topics for cowboys and cowgirls.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Young Cattle Company. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Buckles. Today, as always, I got Blake Skaggs Bucking Bulls with us. I got Nathan Gililland, and we got Blaine Hart sitting in today. I think it's going to be a great episode. We're going to go in depth into the bull team side of things and a little bit into the ABBI. And with us today, big time stock contractor Dakota Young. Dakota, glad you're here, man.
I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So tell me, Dakota, how did you get into the bull business?
Man, I obvious same story as everybody else. I used to ride bulls and just kind of a rough path right there at the end, and just had to kind of hang it up, not on my own term. Just didn't really have a choice. Body wouldn't let me do it no more. And one of my best friends is Cash Roberts, HD's son.
Yep, I know
and
Cash.
So kind of just started trickling into it. You know, it was the first set of cows I ever bought was from LJ Jenkins. I bought a set of 4, I think. And I just kind of trickled into it. And then, I'd go down there and I'd help HD buck calves, and we'd, go gather shit and screw around, hang out at the Ardmore.
Been there in Dixon, Oklahoma, 70, right there on the Ouachita River.
Yeah. We'd go out and hang out at 70 West after, and it was just a good time. And then it just slowly started trickling in, and I bet countless hours Ardmore, Oklahoma, just not even saying a word. I mean, for days, and just watching and how things work and how he does everything. And I just learned it as good as I could learn it, and then saved my money, and somehow talked my parents into partnering on something. And my dad cowboyed his whole life. I mean, that's all he's ever done. He owned a truck dealership too, later on in his life. But so he knows the cattle industry pretty good. And so we just kind of dipped into the cow side of things, and it just blew up from there.
So how long? When did you quit riding and then get into the bull business there?
I think the last bull, other than at the practice pen talking shit, I get on the tennis shoes. I think the last
there wasn't
bull
no beer involved there, was there? I bet there was.
The last bull I got on, I was at Cody Raspberry's house, Brownwood, Texas, and this bull rider was kind of being a puss and wouldn't get on this bull, and he was just a practice bull. And they bet me $500 I wouldn't get on him.
Did you ride him, or did you look off?
No, he too jumped me. Oh. But in my defense, he had a treacherous trip.
It always happens that way, right?
Long.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
hit on all fours, drug his ass, and I checked out.
Them's almost hard. The worst.
But
anyway.
Back to it. I think competition wise, the last bull I got on was in 2018.
So did you ride professionally or amateur? What was your career?
I went to a bunch of, the Blue Def stuff, lower level stuff, CPRAs, UPRAs. I did some pro rodeos. I pro rodeoed a lot. But mainly I never made it on the big tour.
Right.
But I mean,
so what
we were headed there, but it just never worked.
What made you had to hang it up? What caused that? What was the injuries?
I'd entered I guess what they call it now is the Fort Worth Classic, the ABBI Classic, first of the year.
Yeah,
Toby been going on.
Brad Boyd and Toby Floyd used to put on there at New Year's there in Cowtown.
Yeah, and a bull named California Chrome stepped on me, and he was out of the rights right there in the latch. I mean, you couldn't fit a credit card between his nose and the latch, and he just kind of never left the floor of the chute, and he just whipped me down on the floor of the chute, and he wasn't really a hooky bull. I mean, he just bullfighters couldn't get his attention. He's just doing his thing right there, and I was underneath him the whole time.
You was the dance floor.
he
was dancing, and he was the dance floor.
He was painting the floor with me, and so that's kind of how that went down. And I was in and out of the hospital for probably 2 or 3 months. Hernias and groins and my knee and my foot, shoulder, hip. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. But
you didn't just tear your groin either. You tore it off the bone.
Yeah.
And that's
bad shape.
guys out there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've had torn growings, pulled growings, but it's really bad when it comes off the bone. It's better to pull it or tear it, and tear it in plumbing too, but not off the bone.
Yeah. And that's the biggest question I get. Everybody always asks what it felt like. I'm like, I mean,
feels like his gut shot.
If you've ever taken a sledgehammer to the inside of your leg, but a little closer where you don't want it, that's about what it feels like.
Yep, right there about your tank. Just hit it with a hammer. Sharp.
Yeah. And so, anyways, that happened, and I kept having a hernia problem coming back, and they thought it figured itself out, and never did. And between that and the growings was what took so long. And then after that, I tried to crack back out and come out, and Cody took some time. Cody Johnson, I ran with him a bunch, and he kind of tried to crack back out and was hurting all the time and stuff like that. And so I couldn't ride a stick horse.
But it gets to be such a battle too. After you got all them injuries and stuff, man, it's just a total drag. I mean, you've got to really work at it and be dedicated to come back. And some guys can't. I mean, some guys, the injuries just don't go away. It's not due to lack of trying. They just, like you said, you
the body don't work like it.
Yeah, you and HD are good buddies. And I know HD, he had hip problems. HD could ride the shit out of one. And back in the day, because I kind of grew up with him, and I mean, he could ride the fire out of one. And a lot of people don't know how good he was because he had hip problems so damn bad. And he just, I mean, it was natural for him to slide over into bull business, kind of like you, really.
Yeah, because they see him now and he can barely walk.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help Grandpa run over him with a butt jog either. So.
Poor guy, he's been through it. I seen him the other day, and he's having bad problems with his shoulders. And I remember before I got my shoulder done the first time, it's just an excruciating pain all the time. And it's just stuff like that. Like I played college and pro football too, and that kind of took a toll on me. And between that and riding bulls, I can't really, a lot of people do ask me that, which one took a toll on you worse. And it's a hard, is when you're 6 foot, sub 6 foot right there, and
you're not 6 foot.
Heaviest I've ever weighed. Yeah, I'm right under 6 foot. But,
that's in the tall boots.
Yeah, the heaviest I've ever
right under 6 foot with the tall boots.
The heaviest I've ever weighed is 190, 195, and you're getting hit by 6'4", 230.
Yeah,
running a 440.
Getting hit by a Freightliner.
Takes a toll on you quick. I remember the very last game I played, we ran a championship, and this dude hit. I mean, I played special teams. That was my favorite part. And
you went down there and hit somebody.
Yeah, loved it. And this dude cleaned my clock on the sideline. I remember getting up, and I was like, all right. I think I've had enough.
Yeah, when you're the guy getting wiped out on special teams, it's time to step aside.
Yeah, but it's just same as riding bulls. I mean, you went from smacking everybody to being the talk and stay away from him. He's going to take your head off to getting your head taken off. And it's there's a table that turns right there in both sports that kind of did it for me. That led me to.
One day you're the windshield, the next day you're the bug.
I got to be the bug a lot there. And that was the worst part. Like after you say, how hard growing injuries and hip injuries are to overcome. But, right there at the end when I was trying to crack out again, I'd looked like I'd never been on a bull. There was
body just not functioning the same as it used to.
Yeah, and not a scared factor. I'd never been scared.
Right.
At that point.
Just don't work the same.
Yeah,
you've been tore up that bad.
It doesn't. Like I could go get on a football field right now and get smoked by Blaine over there.
I'm just glad you didn't say me, because I probably couldn't catch you in the first place.
You're definitely a lineman. I don't think you could run that far, Blake.
But probably not.
Yeah, all that kind of led me to spending a bunch of time in Ardmore, and I owe a lot.
If you're going into the stock contracting business, that's a good place to hang out in Dixon, Oklahoma.
Well, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that about me.
I've heard that, but you know what I tell everybody? You don't like it? Go kick fucking rocks.
Mostly everybody that has a problem with it, I've found, is they wish they were there at one point in time.
Sure.
Jealous.
And,
they're jealous.
Exactly right.
It's just everybody goes under somebody's wing. But Brandon Stewart, HD kind of helped him a lot, and look how he's made it into what it
Successful.
is. Yeah. And there was guys that helped HD. When Dylan was getting started, not necessarily HD, but Dylan.
Larry Caphart.
Yeah.
Larry Caphart was one. Sammy Andrews helped him.
Everybody, if everybody has and I don't want to even say mentor, but everybody has somebody that took them under their wing and kind of showed them, hey, this is what I know.
And helped them get started.
Yeah, showed them the ropes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So going back to
that was HD for me.
Buying your first set of cows from LJ, how many cows did you buy? Did you jump in hard, or did you just buy a couple and just kind of get the feel, or what? When was that?
I think that was in early 2019.
Okay.
First part of the year. Actually, I know it was first part of the year because I remember he dropped them off. We were at the finals, and that was my first deal in the bull business, right? LJ drops them off. We're at the finals, and I'm like, hey, we won't be back for a while. I'll have to get that money to you or whatever, when I get back. And I totally forgot. LJ called me, hey, where's my money? I'm like, oh, crap. So, it was first of the year 2019. And I think there was 4 cows in that set.
4.
And 2 of them had calves at their side. LJ kept 2.
Okay.
So you didn't just buy bulls. You bought cows to start with.
Cows was my very first purchase. I got into the cow side of it before I did the bull side.
And you're still involved in the cow side?
Oh, yeah. I got 66.
I'd say so.
Yeah. How many bulls you got at your place right now? Just a rough estimate.
Big bulls, probably 27.
27. Got a lot of yearlings and 2-year-olds?
Yeah. I've culled down to 16 yearlings and 9 2-year-olds.
And then quite the herd.
Yeah, and then so I'll have 60 something to wean here in the next month. I don't know where I'm going to put them.
Dang
it. I guess he's going to Dixon, Oklahoma to buck some of them.
Yeah. Actually, what's funny is Cash is, I guess, partnered with me on them some of them yearlings last year because he kind of got me in the deal to where I could bring.
Now let's clarify. Cash is HD's son.
Yeah.
Just so people don't. I mean, I know this. You know this. Everybody that's sitting around here knows this. But a lot of people out there in the world, Cash is HD Page's son.
Yeah. And so Cash actually is the one that got me the deal to breed the 602D, which was Jack and Dot's bull Can Do. And he's a Shepherd Hill son, bred good. I mean, as good as money can buy. Mm-hmm. And he kind of got me that deal. So the deal was, you know how Cash, he kind of swindles his deals there.
Oh, yeah.
And so
he's pretty smooth operator.
Yeah, so he owns half of whatever is out of 602. I cleaned up with one of them 2-year-olds, 184 Margie Cat maybe. Anyways, and he's been calling me, hey, we need to go through them calves. We need to buck some calves. He doesn't know I'd already been bucking them. He's like, how are they? I'm like, oh, there's a couple that's going to make it. So I bet I didn't cull one of them out.
Yeah, so you had full reign to just pick whatever bull on HD Page's place to breed to?
Pretty much, but Bruiser.
Yeah.
The one I wanted.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember him saying, Bruiser's the only one to ever leave this place, and I don't think anybody's ever bred a Bruiser off that place.
Oh, I'm sure not. Why wouldn't you pick that team?
Yeah.
I mean, even if he said, yeah, go ahead and take Bruiser and breed it, I wouldn't take him.
Oh, you couldn't.
I'd say, I'll bring my cows and you can take care. I'm not going to,
Yeah. You couldn't shove a needle at my ass. Bruiser was on the trailer.
Oh, I guarantee you. I know that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be a little.
Yeah, but yeah, I did. And he kind of stood out. I think E40 was in the conversation. Cash wanted to breed the E40, which was black and blue. He broke his back in Kansas City last year. They had to put him down. But he was in conversation, 602. And then we kind of 602 was a big gray Bramer, 2,000 pound. But he broke
What'd they call him?
Can Do. He was ranked. He bucked with a dummy, but he broke his leg.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't know him.
Yeah. And he broke his leg as a 2-year-old, and he was a big, pretty sucker. And I kind of
Did you ever take him to Wall Street?
I think I ran him through there a couple times. I don't think it. No, I know what bull you're thinking about. You're thinking about F09. I still got him. I bred to him this year.
The Bramer that was kind of hard to get out on.
Yeah, kind of a little short stub horn on one side.
Yeah.
It's a funny story about that bull. I've never seen a bull grow a horn that quick. When he was 3, we were bucking him at HD's. He wouldn't leave the arena, and HD got pissed off at him and roped him, jerked his horn cap off, and chopped that horn off. And now that sucker's 3 or 4 inches long. And I'm like, dang, that sucker came all the way back. Yeah. It's crazy. Wow. But I bred to that bull this year, the bull you're talking about. Yeah. He's a full brother of Slice of Heaven.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. I knew there was something special about that calf because y'all was handling him down there and trying to get him out of there. And then
he's an idiot.
Oh, he was a complete idiot.
He's not now, but he was.
Most of the good ones are complete idiots, though, right? I mean, they're shitheads.
Yeah. And he was big. I mean, fast.
He looked like he was going to be big. I mean, he was kind of, you could tell. I mean, he walked in there, he was on like toothpicks, big long ass toothpicks, and he was, you could tell he had springs on the bottom of his fucking feet.
And that was my main deal is, when I first started doing that deal with HD is I was scared to hurt one because I'd always listen to him preach about not running them to the corner or stepping around them one way to where they go around the corner post. And when you're bringing them out of a pen, step in the latch side the way they go around, where they go around you and they're not dragging their hips off when they're coming out of there. And I was just, for the first couple sets, I was pretty weary. I was pretty worried because a couple of them, I mean, and that was the deal about Wall Street is their alleyways were only 10-foot alleyways. Mm-hmm. And so you didn't have much place to go. Mm-mm. And their gates didn't swing right. Whoever set that place up, it was ass backwards.
The back pen gates, the way everything was kind of set up, it just wasn't. Yeah, gates didn't swing right.
Very nice flow place.
It didn't have an even flow through there to get them through there.
Don't get me wrong, very nice place. I'll probably never be able to afford anything like that. But
me too.
But yeah, it gets you hurt in a second.
Mm-hmm. So you said you had 27 big bulls. Do you bull team them bulls? Do you PBR? Are they on a pro rodeo truck? What are them bulls' jobs?
Man, they're kind of split. Okay. I got bulls all over the world right now. It feels like, but I probably bull team this year more than any year I ever have, and not because I want to. Just, that's the only way I can get bulls bucked or get riders on bulls, get videos of bulls to get them on tour, and I think I won High Point Bull in third at Heath Skaggs deal. I won High Point Bull at, almost everyone I went to, I pulled High Point Bull, but the one BTO event I went, and I'm legit too, beat Gold Chain by a quarter point, I think. and I don't honestly think he was better.
Who took that bull down there?
Trey Kimsey leased him.
Seems like, does he even own any bulls, Trey?
Yeah, he owns a bunch of good ones.
Why does he lease all these others? He ain't got good enough ones to go?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just if he can, he's going to kind of deal. I know Trey well, and he's asked me about a couple bulls. He may be able to need some bulls here or there, and I always tell him, you're more than welcome to come get anything I got, especially if you're going to pay.
Yeah, no
money talks.
That's right.
I've seen him put chiseled on the truck and take him, and that's PRCA Bull of the Year there. And there wasn't a lot of the bull guys down there at Waxahachie that week. They was a little pissed off.
You talk about that, and we talked about the bruiser deal, but that was the second most scariest time of my life. I unload Chisel at my house, and he's right there in the pens, and I'm like, oh. Dogs are walking around him. I'm like, hey, everybody get the hell back. Don't say nothing. Don't breathe.
You put him in the padded pen, right?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to haul a bull of that caliber, but it was a fact that I was still, we were still working things out between me and HD, and he was still showing me stuff, and it was just the wrong time to screw up. And I just knew if anything was going to happen, it was going to happen to me. But Chisel's a really cool bull. You can't hardly get him pissed off, and so it worked out. And they used him at Waxahachie, and it's outside loads there, so he had a weird trip.
Yeah, but I'd never seen that bull go left before. He went to and around the left, and I was like,
he was confused as all get out. He didn't know. I've never seen him pace that much. I don't know. He just didn't like that place.
I don't like the way it's set up either, personally.
Yeah, when you can tell, there are places that my bulls buck harder at, and there's places I got a couple bulls that refuse to buck at the stockyards. The way the chutes are kind of
angled out.
Yeah,
it's just that little degree change.
Screws.
They'll go out there and bounce around. You can take them to a PBR, they're gonna be 45 points.
Yep.
And so I don't know, just he didn't like it. I bet he had a 2-foot trench dug in a circle. Just pace from the time we got there to the time he got out of shoot to the time he got back on the
That
train.
reminds me of Panhandle Slim back in the day. I think it was like 98 or something. I had him 97. I think I had him at the PBR finals, and I walked back there. I'd already been on him before, but I went back there to check on him, and they had him in this pen by himself. And I swear, around the inside of the pen, right around the edge of the fence, he had a 1.5 foot trench. He walked the whole time, paced. He never stopped, never laid down, never put his head. He just walked that daggum thing. He was impatient, a study.
Yeah, I mean, Cold Creek's like that, 734, and he gets to pacing a lot. Sometimes, some days he's chill, but some days he's just wired different. Yeah. And I've had 3 or 4 or 5 people ask me at the bull housing because I'll feed him right before he gets on the trailer to go to the arena. Everybody else is feeding 5, 6 o'clock for loading at 9. And they're like, dude, he's going to twist his gut. Why are you doing that? I'm like, no, I mean, I don't feed him a lot. I just give him a little, just enough of that still water to swell up in his belly and kind of hold him over because he'll draw up.
Get Gant.
You get him there heavy, he's perfect by the time he's Tommy Bucks. Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, let's take a minute and let's go hear from our sponsors. For all your home furnishing needs, give Lorick Ranch a call. They can hook you up.
So what's the hardest thing that you've done to get where you're at, starting at 2019 and getting here?
Ooh. Probably financials.
It is expensive.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hardest move I've ever had to make is selling bulls that I didn't want to sell.
Why would you have to sell them?
To realizing that it takes a greater bull to do what I'm trying to do versus, a lot of these guys, they'll keep everything they come across. That's probably the hardest lesson I've had to learn, that everything can't stay. And if an opportunity presents itself to put food on the table for you or the family and everything else, then he's got to go.
They all for sale.
Yeah.
Every day.
They all for sale, except for Cold Creek. He'd be expensive. He's for sale, but
that's
for what it's worth.
Or sell, not on sale.
Yeah, right.
There's a bunch of them I got like that. But lesson wise, that's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to beat into my own head is they can't stay. We're in a business here. It's not a petting zoo.
Right.
If they're not working, they need to go down the road. And I've sent a lot of good bulls places I didn't want to send them, but.
And just because they didn't work for you, they might work for somebody else.
They might work for somebody
be the top of their
Don't get
pen,
attached.
But the first bull I ever bought was 317. I named him Slim Shady, and he come from John B. Lane down in South Texas, and good bull. I mean, big, scary, was hot, mean as a younger bull, and
Bull rider's nightmare.
I sold him. He's 9 this year. When I sold him to Brady Randolph, and he'd still do it. He could still go to PBRs, but they didn't really like him. The guy didn't really like him, and Brady loved him. I mean, he's mean, but he had a gentle side to him. If you're feeding him, you could pet all over him, whatever. But he would run you up the fence quick if he felt something was off that day. But anyways, lessons like that are the hardest thing I've ever had to learn.
Definitely don't want to get attached to them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a possibility that you got to see them down the road.
And probably, as a success lesson or whatever you want to call it, the hardest thing I've had to go through was just partners not jiving. Getting a partner and it not working and figuring out a way to make it work. And
Jeremy Walker said that.
Yeah.
We had him on before, and he said, bulls, they'll work out, they'll tear shit up, but
he can fix it with a welder.
Nothing that a welder can't fix, but partners can
sink you.
Sink
And
the
they
ship,
will.
and it ain't no count and spoil everything.
And the sad part about it is there's guys out there that, in the back of their head, they know how good you are at what you do, or how good your stock, or how good your bulls are, or your feed program or whatever. And, they want to play the whole, I got X amount of dollars, I really want to get into it, blah, blah, blah. And then they get into it, and out of the blue, they know everything about it. And they're like, I want 40,000 for him. I'm like, you bought half of them for 6 because you made me feel bad. That was one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn in order to make it to where I am currently, you know.
I think one of a good
But that goes
lesson-
back to financials.
Good lesson that I learned in the bull business is keep doing you.
Yeah.
Don't change just because you got a sponsor or a partner that comes in and wants to go this way. No, he wants to be your partner because of the way you're doing
The way you
things.
do things.
And man, I've had a couple partners come in and they didn't know which one ate and which one shit. You know, they couldn't tell the difference. But then all of a sudden, we start winning in some bull teams, start placing in some bull team deals, and all of a sudden they're gurus. They know exactly everything's going on.
Yeah, and you're screwing them.
Yeah, and then they drop me, and guess what? They don't win shit. They learned the hard way.
And then shortly they're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
But that's
neither here
them.
nor there.
Yeah.
But that's a big lesson that I had to learn as far as, you know, how tight to keep your circle and how, you know, the actions that you need to take and on a business aspect of it to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, they'll jump in, they'll get a partner, they'll jump 400, 500, 600,000 in big bulls, and they don't make a single dime. And that's just not how you play your cards. And it all goes back to, you know, this is a conversation for another time, but it all goes back to a lot of people saying that, oh, the bull business is a hobby. Well, I'm telling you right now, it ain't a hobby.
It's an expensive
hobby,
hobby.
then.
Yeah.
It ain't a hobby around my place, and you know we take it seriously, and it does make it. It's a lot of revenue for my place, and it's all about how you play your cards, though.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what you're doing, and you think, you know, I got a big money partner, I can go buy whatever I want, and you know, the world ain't gonna stop me. That ain't how it works. And then that only lasts. That fire will burn out. It's not if.
Got to
It's
keep
when.
working for it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you see yourself in, say, 2, 3, 4 years from now?
Well, the first one you asked 2, and the second one you asked 4 is 2 totally different goals. I think in 4 years I want to be in. You know, I can personally say right now I'm not in the. I don't have enough bulls, and I won't say consistent because everything I got is pretty consistent, and I like to keep it that way.
You got quality, not quantity.
But I'm not in a position to be in the conversation for stock contractor of the year. And some may say that I never am. Some may never, you know, may say that other than the big guys, nobody ever will be. But I think in 4 years,
You'll be in that
that's my
conversation.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, in the next 2 years, somewhere
Contractor
between,
of the year in the PBR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you do some PRCA stuff
Yeah,
too.
and that's what I was just about to say. I think in the next 2 years, my biggest goals are PRCA Bull of the Year, and maybe hunt for a Bull World title, which we've already kind of been in the hunt this last season. But you know, we want to tighten the gap up a little bit.
No, to get where you want to be in the PBR, you're going to have to kiss a little ass and play a little politics. And I mean, how's them relationships? Because we know the little ring at the PBR. There's a little circle of buddies up there, and I don't know if you've got to wear your knees out of your pants to get in there or not. I don't know how to get in there because I've never been in there. I don't know. I mean, and I know you've got to either bring a big sponsor, or it seems to me, I don't know all these for facts. I'm just looking. You got to either bring a big sponsor in, or you got to do something for the Pat PBR on the back for them to get you in that circle to be somewhere.
Oh, it's a tight knit group for sure. And you know, there's a lot of good guys up there, and there's a lot of not so good guys up there. But that's in every business. But I'm not getting on my knees for nobody. If I'm going to earn it, it's going to be the right way, and that's just how. That's how kind of how I was showed the business, and so that's how I'm going to be. I mean, you got the better bull, you have the better bull. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Should be,
and there's
there's
only a matter of time before that's recognized. And you know, they can only finagle it for so long.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
you know,
by that time they can finagle it long enough for that bull that you're talking about to go downhill, and you better have another one to back it up. But
that's the deal. You just got to have, you know,
timing.
Timing. You're right. You're right there. You're right there. But and that's kind of my take on it. I've always tried to. I know what goes on and everything, but I always try to look at the broader aspect of it. I'm like, okay, well, you know, they can mark him off the charts every time he cracks the latch open, but if he don't turn back and buck, they can't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If my bull turns back, bucks every time, and I know I can take him all over the world, and the more
Yeah.
diesel smoke I give him, the harder he's going to buck. And
Yeah.
that's just how
Some
he
bulls
is.
are
And
like
I
that.
got 4 or 5 like that.
Nice.
And
That's the way you want 'em.
that's just kind of way I've always looked at it. You know, there's a point in there's a
Got it.
year that's your year. You know, last year I thought for sure, I mean, he was 45 and a quarter plus up to 46 and 3/4, 4 or 5 times right there. And
we're talking about Cold Creek.
yeah, and I thought for sure, you know, this is his year, and you know, Morgan kept saying, you know, I don't think it's it's not his year, you know. He's gonna have a year, but this year isn't his year. And you know, last year was really his first year to really have the trips put on him.
Yeah.
You know, he was. I got him from Chase Love, and I owe Chase a steak dinner for that one. But you know, he was kind of hit or miss. He you know, he'd been good for Chase. Chase had won some money with him as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and I bought him as a 4, coming 5, I think. And he was just, you know, Chase doesn't do the whole rider bull deal. And so every time he'd buck him, either he'd hit or he'd be, you know, out of shape or too big or whatever. And I mean, I put the weight on him and put the muscle on him and poured the coals to him and
Here he
kind of
is.
gave him all
Yeah.
the tools he needed to be as good as I knew he could be. You know, after about the 4th time I bucked him 5 times at the house before I took him anywhere. And the poor kids. And poor
Not
Boogie.
that big red bull.
Poor
again,
Boogie
please.
Marquez,
Not
yeah.
big red.
Yeah. And so about that 4th trip, he started turning on. About the 5th trip, I was like, all right, that's enough.
So where is he right now? Is he at your place or is he out rodeoing or?
What's today? Monday. He
Monday.
should be on his way back from Lovington, New Mexico.
Okay.
He'll be at Billy Jones' house in I remember where he lives. East Texas.
Yeah, it's East Texas. We're somewhere else.
So he's pro rodeoing right now.
Yeah.
He's on the rodeo trail.
Livingston. Yeah, he's on the rodeo truck. Him, 901, back time, 896, Psalm 91, and 83, Captain Crunch.
So you got quite a few going
Yeah.
on the rodeo trail.
And we've been kind of switching some out here and there, but yeah.
So you
And they've
we
got to go.
team-
They've got to go to so many rodeos to get qualified to go to the NFR this year.
Yeah, 8.
8.
They got to have 8
8.
outs. But I'm pretty sure, don't mark my words on this, but I think turnouts count too. If they've been in the draw 8 times,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
so it works. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But me and Billy kind of teamed up, and it's been good. You know, Billy was an easy decision. I'm really good friends with his son Ashton, and me and Ashton, we've had some times together, and it was kind of one of those times. You know, we had beers in our hand, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, what about that Red Bull?" And I'm like, "What about the Red Bull?" He's like, "What, are you going to rodeo with it?" I'm like, about 15 others have asked me,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, but they take care of their animals.
Sure they do.
Pete Carr
Yo, that's a,
and Lancaster Jones is,
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
yeah.
The weight they can keep on, you know, over them other guys. So that was kind of an easy
Well, you got a
decision.
bull guy and then you got a horse guy, and they kind of do their own deal there.
Yeah.
And Pete Carr's got a great program for sure.
Yeah, but back to Blaine's question, I think 2 years. In the next 2 years, I'd like to have a bull title of some sort. We're in the hunt right now for, I think we're sitting 5th in the Derby World standings. But I don't think an ABBI title would mean as much as a Bull of the Year title.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Benji
pay entry fees to get
Yeah.
the world title.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to be good to get.
the ABBI. So you brought it up. What's your thoughts on ABBI?
You know, when I first got into the ABBI, I was eat up with it. The calves, you know, before I even stepped in the big bulls, it was calves. I mean, I just, and that was an HD thing, kind of still, you know, spending a bunch of time down there.
Yeah, he bucks a lot of calves.
Oh my gosh.
All the time.
Till you're blue in the face. Till that
Yeah.
dummy, till the 25, 15 pound dummy feels like it's
Yeah.
100 pounds. It's bad when he'll look at me or Cash or whoever's staying there. Hey, why don't you just flank the rest of him as his shoulder's about to fall off? But the ABBI, you know, there are things I love about it. Mm-hmm. There are things I hate about it. and they're things that I despise.
Yeah.
But just all over the spectrum there. But and even them having things that I hate, it's just it's a good way to get it off the ground. I mean, that's the best thing I can tell anybody is if you want to be in the bull business, don't go buy big bulls. Buy some cows, raise some calves, kind of go to some competitions. That's where the big money's at.
2-year-old class at open futurity, if he's not got springs on his feet and doing cartwheels right there for 4 to 6 seconds, you ain't placing.
Yeah.
If you're not
It's
90,
hard.
it's either 90 or nothing.
Yeah, it's hard. And especially with them kind of moving the slot events away for them guys to bringing them lower level calves, which I didn't agree with.
I like the 85 and 87 slide.
Yeah.
Because that puts a market out there for some of them younger bulls that are middle of the road, is not so great,
Yeah, I didn't really agree with them getting rid of it.
I didn't realize they'd got rid of it.
I mean, I don't think they've gotten rid of it. I've noticed that there ain't been any this year. I don't know.
When I entered,
I guess they did get rid of it because there would have been a 87 slide world champion at Vegas, and I ain't seen any slides this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you would think a lot of the contractors would get involved in that because everybody's got an 85 to 87 pointer. Not everybody raises 90 pointers all the time.
Right.
You would think them 85 to 87s
and
would pay the gas bill or the fuel bill there.
And I think, Brandon Stewart would have to be the one to correct me on this one, but it was kind of his idea from what I understand, and he kind of pitched it and they took off with it. But the claimer class is kind of where that, that's what that's for. Got the $4,000, the $7,500, the $12,500.
How are those things working? Because
I don't know. I've never entered one, but I know some of them guys win a ton of money out of them deals.
Yeah.
They're the recent claimable I went to in Duncan, I think there was more calves entered in the claimer than there was the open, almost.
Now, what claimer was it? 4,000?
I think it was 75 and 12.5. And there was
anybody get claims?
some stuff. That's the deal. Maybe I've not ever paid attention, but I noticed the last one. I was like, do any of these calves ever get claimed?
Yeah, because that would be, the reason it's a claimer and you can bring them there, say a $4,000 claimer, you're not going to bring a $10,000 calf in there or a $20,000 calf and just take everybody's money because somebody could slide in there for $4,000
right,
or $7,500, whatever the claim and claim that sucker.
And it's almost.
But if nobody's claiming them,
it's like I heard a success story the other day in Duncan. I cannot remember who it is. Somebody had a calf hit, and he had been bought in a claimer. So I know it does happen. I just don't think it's often. But, back to the ABBI, most of them claimer deals, them are all co-sanctioned deals.
They're co-sanctioned?
Co-sanctioned deals.
They run, didn't Pistol start that? Or doesn't he have the claimable deal?
No, it wasn't. I think he did one.
Yeah.
He helped.
Well, who does them now? ABBI?
No, it's and I just went mind blown. He's gonna be mad at me when he watches this. Daggone.
Yeah, get all up in his ass.
Anyway, it's not ABBI. It's a totally separate deal.
Well, ABBI was going to do it for a little while, wasn't it? They was going to try that claimer thing.
Yeah, and they still do. They do some. Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't get into the 12.5.
I ain't got the money to go play with them boys because I don't have a calf. If I had a calf, I would go play, but you've got to have something special to go play in it.
Right,
very special.
It does. But if anything, it molds you into kind of what you're looking for. You can kind of decide what you're looking for, which way you want to go with it. But back to your question, ABBI. There's things I don't like. There's things I love. I think they could be a little bit more transparent on some things. I think everybody,
PBR
and I think
as a whole, and PBR owns ABBI, I think the whole damn organization can be more transparent.
Personally.
Right,
and I think I don't think that's bad to say. I think everybody, that watches this will agree. I mean, there's some things that,
but head scratchers.
But there's a lot of good too, and it helped me They helped me. They didn't help me. Yeah. The organization helped me put myself on the map. So I can't really bash it too hard. You know, I make a good living off
Well,
of it.
I'm not out to bash them. I like I love the ABBI. I think the concept of ABBI is great. I think it's good and be able to take some of these calves and go and compete somewhere and go win some big money, and it gets the stock contractors involved to help bring and breed and raise better bulls.
Yeah.
And that helps the PBR. That helps, you know, the rider side of it, you know, with the
Yeah.
PBR and the teams and the UTB season, you got better bulls. That's the farm system to get because that's the end goal, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you're a
Yeah.
stock contractor, the end goal is to have buck and bull. If you're a stock contractor, is to have buck and bull of the year or win stock contractor of the year.
Right.
So, you know, the ABBI is a farm system and helps grow it. And man, there's guys that don't even want to go to the PBR. They don't even, I mean, they'd love to see their bulls go up there, but they just want to play in that 2-year-old, that 3-year-old.
It's fun. The calf deal's fun, and there's a ton of money in it. I mean, that's how you make all your money. Your 2-year-old year, your yearling 2-year-old year. I mean, you're talking.
Yeah.
They're fixing to kick off the $1 million futurity in Vegas this year.
Really?
And so, I mean, these calves this year, they've made more money than any calf in the history coming through as 2-year-olds.
I'm sure.
There's a bunch of money, but like I said, there's a lot of things that I wish they do different.
You think the ABBI is profitable? You think it supports itself? Does it make money?
The organization?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they make money.
All right, look, I'm going to go a step further. Do you think that it supports the PBR? Because we all know here as of recently, or what I've seen in people that I've talked to, is PBR's been, that's why they went to the team series, is so they could
Get
help
more
pay some
fans.
bills. Yeah, get corporate sponsors and bring more of that stuff in.
Well, I don't know. I know from creditable sources that how much endorsement money that the PBR gets with some of their endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So there ain't no way that the ABBI bails them out. I think it's the other way around, probably, if anything. But
Okay.
or I wouldn't say bail out, but supports one another. I think
Because I thought the same thing too. I thought PBR
well
would help the ABBI because I thought the ABBI, you know, most of their money's getting paid out.
well, you know, the entertainment company that bought the PBR,
What's the entertainment company's name?
it's
do you know?
IMG,
IMG. Yep.
and it's $1 billion. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, they own wrestlers or
Yeah, UFC and
Yeah.
some other stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, the entertainment company that bought them, I mean, they're loaded.
Do you think they pushed for the team series?
I think it had a lot to do with it. I think somebody pitched it at one point in time, and or heard somebody else's idea and probably pitched it, and
Yeah.
then
Well,
Somebody
PBR
else's
talked
idea.
about it. I mean, even back when I rode way back then, we had a team series too. You know, we had a draft we picked. I mean, it was. In Vegas,
I think what inspired
we
the
did it
team
in New
series
York,
was the
but-
Global Cup.
Yeah.
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 With COVID, when COVID hit and they couldn't go to some of these countries and the Global Cup died, I think they took that concept and was like, you know, look how much freaking tickets we
Yeah.
used to sell.
I like the Global Cup. I think they need to get back to it.
Yeah, the Global Cup was awesome. I loved the Global
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah, I thought it was better. I mean, and I like the team series. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know, team series is what it is. It's not the gold buckled standard.
No, I mean, it's any kid that sat in their living room floor and dreamed of, you know, watch bull ride and dreamed of winning a gold buckle. It's never going to suit that kind of person.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's better for the riders as far as supporting their families because they're getting paid a lot more
Well, they're under contract.
and more consistently. Yeah.
Well, if you're good,
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
under
if you're
contract.
good, you get
Yeah.
paid more.
And so I think
contract-wise.
there's some pros and cons to it, but I don't. It's kind of the same thing between, you know, asking Stetson Wright why he likes PRCA over PBR.
Yeah.
It's just how he's bred. I mean, it's how he's. It's in his blood. I mean, some guys are going to like the gold buckle more, and I'm one of those guys too. So I understand. I enjoy that.
Brought up, you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, and that's the gold buckle
Yeah,
season. You
and
know,
I come
that's-
from a team sport background, so I do like the concept. I like watching it, like them guys hooping and hollering. I like seeing a stacked team and being like, "There ain't no way you're beating them fuckers." But
Yeah, that's for another episode. This episode of Beyond the Buckles is brought to you by our friends at Lorick Ranch Home Furnishings, Young Cattle Company, Sutherland Logistics, Off Our Rocker, Sunnyside Graphic Design, Cactus Rodeo, Print and Stitch Company, DEL Cattle Company, and Blake Skaggs Bucking Bulls. Do you think that the PBR is really overselling the teams deal with the bull riders? I mean, really, should they be we should be dressing some of the coaches in pom-poms and cheerleading suits. I mean, really. Because in bull riding, you don't see that. No. But now the teams come out, it's, oh my gosh. I mean, they better put a seatbelt on Kobe Yates up there. He's going to fall off. He couldn't ride that good anyway.
I love watching.
No, I like Kobe Yates. But yeah, he's about to fall off up there.
Colby's one of them coaches that, he'd probably be fitting with some pom-poms and some makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he'd probably,
little pretty boy.
He's kind of pretty boy.
I know Colby real well. We're good buddies, but he would look good with some pom-poms and some makeup. But, no, I think I didn't really see him gassing it up this much. I didn't really see him going full-fledged with it.
So I thought they went overboard a little bit.
I thought they were just kind of testing the water. Obviously, the biggest stage of bull riding, they're not going to test the waters with anything. I don't think that's a bad choice of words, but I didn't really see them going this extravagant with it. I mean, I heard what the buy-in is per a team. It's nuts. And they're adding two more.
What is the buy-in for a team?
I mean, it's in the millions.
Well, I don't doubt it. Because you got the salaries.
And I think it's different every team. Yeah. Whether they're a league-owned team and somebody's buying them out, or whether it's a, Ariat or whoever. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's like a contractor card you got to buy. You got to spend so much amount, then you get a card to put a team on and blah, blah, blah. Wow. I don't know what the whole breakdown is on it. But I know it's in the millions, and they're bringing two more teams in next year. So I don't think it's going anywhere. 2 more
teams next year?
Yeah, 2 more teams. It is good because the team you thought was going to get John Crimber or Hagen Braswell or Wasey Shala. No, it's a money ball system. The 2 new teams will have more money balls in than anybody. So one of the 2 new teams will get one of the first picks. Unless it's bought out.
Unless they trade up or
whatever.
That.
I know Cord has, which John kind of told me this, something about Cord's got a pick over his dad and JW both, but what I don't understand is I think it's a clean slate next year. So I think the way they do it, and I could be wrong, so whoever's watching this, don't bitch me out on Facebook, but I think each team gets to keep 2 protected roster spots. So they get to keep 2 people.
And everybody else goes back in the hat.
Everybody else goes back in the hat.
I was wondering how that would work because the field of bull riders is not that big, and it's depleted. It's you're going to get the B team guys up there, the C team, and the D team.
And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, saying I hope we're just in a drought, because I remember there have been a couple of years where there wasn't any new good bull riders, and I think that's what it is. But it's pretty. I mean, just like no rain in Stephenville, Texas right now, it's getting hairy.
But they got the lookout virus going around. They've got the no try, the no effort, and then you got to pay me to come get on practice bulls. That attitude. I mean, come on.
That's like you said earlier. That's maybe we can schedule another one of these, and I can bring somebody with me, and we can get into just the bull rider side of things. But I could name 10 off the top of my head right now without even thinking that have the talent to be as good as anybody in the world, but they're just
looking off.
They just have no nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a disrespectful way. It's the God's honest truth. I mean, just guys.
and they know themselves. And if we named them, if we just come out and name them, which we're not.
And I promise you, they can listen to it and be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, they know who we're talking about. They know we're talking about them because they look off. They get in a bind. Oh, I'm going to live to fight another day. What happened to sticking your damn hand in the rope and not quitting until the whistle blows?
And the whole root of the problem is who you run around with.
Absolutely.
Who you associate with, who you run the road with. If you hang out with a chicken, you're going to be a chicken.
Yep. Well, Dave
you soar with an eagle, you're going to be an eagle.
We had Dave in here, a couple episodes ago, and shoot, he was talking about if you're the best guy in the van, you're in the wrong van.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
You need to go rodeo with somebody that's better.
You want to be in the van. That's kind of how it was when we were going. You want to be in a van, you're like, man, I don't think I'm better than him. That's some bitch straps.
Yeah.
Everything he gets
Yeah.
on.
You
And then
wanna
he's thinking the same
make
thing.
better. Yeah.
He's like, I ain't no way in a ride off I could beat him. Or
Yeah.
that's some he'll I better be good tonight. I don't have enough bull to beat him.
Well,
He's
if you
gonna be
hang out
90.
with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th.
Yeah.
You hang out
Yeah.
with
And
5 look off
and-
guys, you're going to look off. You're going to be the
Yeah,
6th
yeah.
one to look
Sixth.
off.
And that's the root of the problem. And I've watched kids go from here to here when they turn 18 to here, but all because of who they hang out with, who they run with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always taught if you run with shit, you smell like shit.
Yeah, and I don't know about
That's
you,
just-
but
that's just cold blood. I mean, that's
and I
just
don't know
straight up,
about you,
know?
but if I'm 5 bulls back and one of my best friends is about to get on one, he just straps one and puts a hole in him for 91. I'm fired up, son.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm fixing to try to break this dude's rib cage.
But you don't want to, because if he beats you, he's going to razz your ass the whole way
Yeah.
to the next rodeo
Yeah,
or all the way
more just
home
the
or
whole
on to the
time.
next
More
one.
just a fire lit.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, like if my buddy's beating on one, I'm fixing to. I feel sorry for this
Yeah.
bull,
little
yeah.
Bramer he's about to get it.
Yeah.
I'm fixing to thump on him. But
Back to the contracting
Yeah.
side, though. Which way would you rather go, the PRCA or the PBR?
I'd rather go PRCA. It's harder, but I'd rather go PRCA. To me, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, but to me, the PRCA, when you're a contractor, it means a little more.
Yeah. Who don't want to
they get treated really good. And I'm not saying the PBR just absolutely neglects their guys, because they don't, but
Yeah, I think Blaine had a pretty good question about this.
Like, which one's better? Which one takes care of them?
takes care of you more.
Takes care of them
Choked.
better. Takes care of them.
Stock contracting
yes.
better?
The
Yeah.
PRCA by far. Now, obviously, the PBR pays more consistently. Obviously, there are some rodeos.
Do they, though? I
There
mean-
are some rodeos that pay more than the PBR pays, but the PBR pays a standard amount. I mean, that's what everybody
Yeah,
gets.
$750 and $1,500 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but there's some pro rodeos that pay $5,000 and $6,000 an out.
Yeah, and so it all depends on the rodeo, but to answer your questions, PRCA. Now it does a whole lot harder to get under the PRCA.
Yeah.
Right.
As a contractor,
Well, it costs
not
more,
bulls,
too, I
but
think.
as a contractor. Once you're there, you can bring whatever bulls you want to. If you want your
take
rodeos
care
to
of
have a
you.
bunch of 81-point bull rides,
Yeah.
great. If you want them to have a bunch of 93-point bull rides, great.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, the PRCA is by far the more how I was raised,
Yeah.
how I was brought up, how what my family likes. But I like the production of the PBR. I think it's cool, the fireworks, the fire, and
Yeah.
it's a big freaking deal. And there's
Supposed to be
100
the best of the best.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be nothing like though standing on the back of them yellow bucket shoots in December at Las Vegas,
It's just-
having
it's-
bulls or horses out.
It's
though.
just different, and I think you can ask Cooper or Boudreaux or Cole Melanson or any of them guys, that have been back and forth from the yellow shoots to the PBR, and they're all going to tell you the same thing. It's a different
vibe.
feeling.
It's a different vibe.
It's just different. But to answer your question, Blaine, the PRCA they treat their guys really well.
On the bull health side, is there substance abuse in the bull industry?
Do I have proof that there is? No, but is it obvious that there is? Yeah. I mean, I do think some guys take the quicker path, and which it pisses me off. And there's a certain group of guys that I won't even do business with, just because, for instance, once you get a bull on that stuff and he gets big and scary and muscled up and hard, once he sells them to me and I don't use it, that bull will fall off.
If you don't
Yeah.
keep up with the pharmaceuticals.
He'll never be the same.
Yeah, I mean that's just like
And so there are guys that make it a little too obvious, and they should probably hide it a little more. But and there's a group of guys I won't do business with because I know for a fact they do. And anybody that knows cattle and especially bulls, and somebody like me that studies bulls so much, and if a bull is somewhat even known or he's been somewhere at some point in time, I could probably tell you where it is or what out and whoever rode him. But for someone that studies bulls as much as I do, I mean, I can watch a bull go from one guy to another and be like,
Is there anybody that's,
Yeah.
testing, regulating? Like,
They say that the PBR says they ran them. I've never been.
Have you
I've
ever
never
seen anybody
Have you
get
been
tested?
Have you been? Has your bulls ever been tested?
I've never been tested. Now, probably shortly after this, I probably will be. But, but that's fine because I just feed still water millings, DNH
Yeah.
blend, and
There
good
you
hay.
go.
So, you don't have to juice one to get it out of him. If he trusts you and you feed him good, he's going to do it.
Yep. I agree.
I think it plays against them. I think the substance, giving them substances plays the cards against you. I think they don't have as a consistent trips
well, I
because
don't
they're
think
already
they have as a long career either.
they're already high stress animals. They're already hot blooded animals.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And I'd probably a pot calling the kettle black because I used to do stuff when I was playing college and pro football, but I just don't agree with it in the animals, and I don't agree with how everybody else can do it so honestly, and then there's guys that take 6 times as many as everybody else that might use it a little bit. So
you're thinking there is some in the big show.
it's like I said, I can watch a bull go from one truck to another and be like, holy shit.
Yeah, you see a major difference. And it's not just in the flank.
Oh, just his coat. He's shiny, slicked off, thin haired,
And they didn't just give him a bath out back.
No. Just gained 250, 200 pounds, 150 pounds in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I do wish that's something I do wish the PBR would do more, and there's going to be guys that hate me for saying that, but that's the honest guys wanting a level playing field.
Yeah.
I mean,
It should
like
be.
I said, there's a pro and a con to it. I think some bulls can't take it, but some bulls it turns them into superstars.
Do you think they don't test because either it costs too much to have them tested, or will that implicate some of their big stars and they don't want to lose them bulls to testing?
I think it's a little of both.
A little of both.
If I'm being honest, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I have personally got a phone call saying, hey, just letting you know we're fixing to start random, so make sure all your shit's clean. And I'm like, hey, Bubba. Steve
Anytime.
Medusa got the same phone call, called me about 5 minutes after. Did you just get that down?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I ain't got to worry about my shit, though. All he gets is grain. But after that, I'd never seen it. And I was like, good, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank y'all for, taking initiative to do the right thing.
They need to.
But do I see it a whole lot? No. And it could be an under the rug kind of deal.
Right.
I do know they
would need to be transparent. I would think for it to be legit.
Yes,
and
I
for guys
think
Need to be held accountable.
I think that's a big
like a
deal
third
for it to
party.
be transparent because how do you know if somebody popped?
Yeah.
And I've only heard 2 people popping, and both of them were way before my time.
Yeah.
But they popped Walgreen,
Yeah.
and I don't even really know why I hesitated. I don't really agree with anything he does, but they popped Walgreen, and they didn't really like Walgreen.
Yeah.
He was starting to,
But I think that's why it's
He
not
did a lot of bad
transparent,
things,
is
but
so they
he was
can
also-
protect the people they do like. But then,
yeah.
We got the people that don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody do it there or laid eyes on it, whatever. But I can tell you from a cattle aspect, I know cattle good enough that I can tell you.
yeah,
I can look at one and say, yeah, he's on the shit or he's not,
Right.
But just like a meth head or just
Yeah.
like you can look at some of them contracts and be like, somebody should have slowed down a little bit. He made it from East Coast
he's
to West
on that
Coast.
high speed chicken feed. Slow him down, boys. Slow him
Get-
down.
get the-
Picks.
he quit stopping off at the Love's petrol station. Some of Pablo's
You gotta
toothpicks,
watch
but
out for them lot lizards.
there is. I think there is some in there, and I do wish they would take it a little bit more
Yeah,
serious.
I agree. I think it's in there myself, and I think the PBR would need to take more initiative and be more transparent about doing it. I think that would deter a lot of people from doing it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to drag them down by any means. That's one of the things that I would love for them.
To be held
Why
accountable and
wouldn't you
do
do
it.
it?
Yeah.
You know,
why
why
not?
wouldn't you?
And why wouldn't you be transparent about it?
Did you know the MLB cover Barry Bonds up however many times? No. Finally come back and bit him in the ass.
Yeah.
You know, and so
And it's just good animal health. Like,
yeah, it's
Yeah, we
just-
got
it's-
PETA on our ass all the time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
we really don't need to bring this shit in.
No
you know?
shit. But yeah, to answer your question, I think I do wish they take it a little bit more seriously. I think that's one thing that I would if the PBR ever set a stock contractor meeting, I would bring up and be like, hey, you know, I thought we were doing this. You know, let's make sure everybody's playing by the rules here. Because if we got to follow one rule, we need to follow all the rules.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
black and white.
I think it would be great. I think that's a good choice for the livestock director to kind of bring up or push or whatever.
Yeah, we can talk about the new livestock director another time. I think we're getting close to getting out of time.
Yeah.
If we take off after him, we're going to be down for a while. I think this has been a very good episode, and we could, like I said, we could sit here all day. But guys, hey, if y'all like what we're doing, you like us, go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, go on all platforms. Give us a like, give us a listen. That's how we get better, is like and follow and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all them. Go give us a like, give us a listen, and we'll see you next time. Dakota, thanks for being on here,
Thanks
buddy.
for having me.
Thanks,
It's
Lil
fun.
D.
We'll see y'all.
Appreciate it, buddy.
It's daddy to you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.